Well, hi again, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Sports Talk. Don Henderson, Doug Miles with you. And Don, we haven't done one of these from Sarasota in a while on video. It's been on audio.
You've been out in Arizona and I've been here in Sarasota, so we haven't had a chance to do it. But here we go. You're back in the friendly city and on the west coast of Florida.
Been back and forth, doing little relative visits, but good to be back, and we'll be back for good very shortly. But we want to do a video today as we talk to you at the end of March. Of course, the tournament going on, but I guess we can start with a bit of sad news in sports. The great George Foreman passing away last night.
How about that? The great grill man, and as we talked about it going out to breakfast this morning, it's amazing how much money he actually made promoting the George Foreman grill. I mean, it was...
They said hundreds of millions.
Hundreds of millions. Unbelievable.
Yeah, he made obviously more than he did in boxing, and he did well in boxing, obviously, but nothing where he made on the grills.
Exactly.
Great character of sports. I mean, obviously a great boxer, but a character and, interesting man. I guess he became a minister at one point, kind of turned his life around, but always great on the talk shows. Remember, we went on Johnny Carson a lot, always good.
Yeah, and the one thing about that era, whether it's Holmes, who was in Eastern Pennsylvania, whether it was George Foreman, the current champion that tried to go back in the ring again at
he was almost 50, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah, almost
late 40s?
50, yeah. And they even tried to make more money going back in the ring in their 50s than they did when they were actually fighting. But George was very, very successful.
Devastating puncher.
Yes.
In all the years that he boxed, and going back to the Olympics, I believe he won a gold medal, and then, of course, the great fight with Ali, the rope-a-dope. He lost that one, right? I mean, people thought he would win, but he kind of ran out of gas, and that's how Ali beat him.
Yeah, it was. But again, as I say, George was another one that wanted to come back and fight again when he was 55 or 60 years old.
Yeah,
and
kind of like Tyson did a few months ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tyson didn't quite make it to the end.
Well. Got a lot of money though.
Made a lot of money, and all they did was sort of wrestle each other around a little bit. Got I think 12 rounds in, and they said,
that other guy kind of carried him a little bit. They said just so he could make it a show.
Didn't want to hurt him.
No, but 76. So George Foreman, we remember him today, and of course, I guess the other story you guys have been covering it on the Wednesday show you do, and it's been all over. Internet and newspapers, the Rays stadium situation. Seems like every few days there's another development in it. None good if you're a Rays fan.
Well, even
if you want them to stay.
Even as of we talk today, they haven't got anything set up.
Nothing. No.
They don't know whether they're going to redo the trop. They don't know whether they're going to allow the present owner to sell. They don't know whether the present owner is willing to sell and then move it to Nashville or move it to Charlotte or move it to Tampa. They don't know exactly what they're going to do. The city of Tampa has not been too cooperative. 8 out of the 10 commissioners voted against it in St. Pete. And of course, if our late friend Pat Weems were alive, would have had a chance to go down to Orlando, but he passed away a few months ago, and so I don't know if they're in the running or not.
Yeah, we had him on. I know you had him on the Wednesday show, and he was really spearheading the movement for called the Orlando Dreamers. And he said he had all the money pretty much lined up to do this.
And he had 10,000 season ticket holders lined up. He had the architectural drawings of the stadium. He had
and a big shopping development too with it.
And he had the cooperation for where the stadium was going to go. Right. That was already approved. He had everything lined up to go, and unfortunately got pneumonia and passed away. And of course, he had a previous record bringing the Magic to Orlando when he was general manager of the
76ers.
Yeah, he was general manager of the 76ers, and he had the dream that Orlando was going to be an NBA city, and he created the Orlando Magic, and he was going to do the same thing with the baseball club, but unfortunately, pneumonia got him.
Yeah, good guy. We always enjoyed
him.
Very prolific writer. Seemed to have a book out every few months.
Yes.
But anyway, that's kind of the latest. St. Petersburg mayor came out the other day and said he doesn't want anything to do with Sternberg. Sternberg apparently very difficult to deal with. He thought Sternberg kind of reneged on the previous deal.
Well, they had so many different meetings and so many propositions, so many proposals, both from the city of St. Petersburg and from the county and all. And it just never worked out. Sternberg was never willing to put any of his money into it.
No.
And the last thing he said was that he would put $700,000 if they fixed the trop and he could come back and play there. But I don't think the commissioner
to refurbish it. I think the county and the city would put in $200 million apiece. He'd put in $200 million and stay for 10 years.
Yeah.
If they refurbish it, not just fix it.
Yeah,
that's not going to fly.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No way.
No.
Yeah, as of now, everybody I think that follows it knows they're going to play at Steinbrenner Field in Tampa. The Yankees spring home, but that's just a one-year deal. They're not going to extend that.
No, the Yankees made it clear that this was a one-year deal. They were going to try to help the Major League Baseball. At the same time, they were going to help the Rays. They also, Major League Baseball made a few significant changes in the schedule because there's not much rain in the beginning of the season, but in August and September, in that area, they have a lot of storms. So what they did was they moved some of the games that would have been played in August back here to play early in the season, and then take those games on the road, which means the Rays will have 40 games on the road in the second half of the season.
Heavily front-loaded for spring.
Yes.
And heavily backloaded for road games.
Yes.
Which will be interesting if the Rays are competitive this year. Now, last year they had a bad year. They weren't nowhere near the playoffs, as they had in the previous 4 or 5. But if they're in the running, that's going to hurt them.
Yes, it is. To play 40 games on the road, and
especially dog days.
Yeah. So we'll wait and see what happens, and whether they all get together, and whether or not the Rays really have a competitive team this year. You got to figure the Yankees, the Red Sox are going to be 1-2. The Red Sox have improved quite a bit, so the Red Sox should, I don't know if they're going to contest with the Yankees, but it should be a 1-2 battle with the Red Sox.
The Orioles the last few years have been very good again.
Yeah, but the pitching is very suspect this year.
Terrible play, but
yeah. Their bullpen is not good yet. The bullpen killed them last year, so we're going to have to wait and see. We've seen them a little bit in spring training here in Sarasota. They've trained here now for I think it's been 8 years, 9 years.
Close to 15, I think now.
Closer to 15. And so we'll just have to wait and see how their pitching staff rounds out as to whether because they got a lot of great young players in the farm system.
Right.
And they've got a lot of great young players that they brought up, including Gunnar Henderson, their shortstop, is one of the outstanding players. He should even have a better year this year, his 3rd year in the major leagues. So they've got young players that are ready to go, but do they have enough pitching to contend with the Red Sox and Yankees? I don't know.
The other story that Tampa Bay fans may be interested in, a name coming back actually a name that used to be here in Tampa, coming to New York to be their quarterback, at least right now, Jameis Winston, kind of trying to resurrect his career. He was with Cleveland most recently, wasn't he?
Yeah, James has signed now with 3 other clubs, and now he signed with the Giants yesterday. And
2-year deal that says $8 million.
He has all the tools. He's a very, very good player, but he just hasn't been in the right position. He was with the he
went to New Orleans after the Bucks.
After the Bucks, he played with the Bucks, and the Bucks didn't have an offensive line to protect him, and he threw so many interceptions that they finally gave up. Went to New Orleans. Went to New Orleans as a backup, never really got a chance to play. Went to Cleveland as a backup, never really got a chance to play. And now he signs with the Giants, who really at this point have no quarterback. So he's got a chance to be a factor with the Giants this year.
Yeah, still wondering where Aaron Rodgers is going. The Giants was one of the teams that people thought he might go to. He's still making up his mind.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jameis Winston. I mean, like the talent was there. There was always a question of, could he kind of come through in the clutch? He had some decent years with the Bucks.
Yeah.
Not great. Never quite had the potential, but like you said, he didn't have a lot of protection.
And not only that, but he was always behind.
Always playing from behind.
Roy made this point the other day on our Wednesday show that every time he came in, regardless when he was a backup quarterback for other teams or whether he was with the Buccaneers, when he came into the game, he was down 13 or 10 or 14, and he had to throw the ball. And when you throw the ball when you're down at the last
defense knows it.
A lot of chances you're going to get an interception.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. He threw so many interceptions that they gave up on him with the Bucks, and he never really got a chance to do anything in New Orleans or in Cleveland.
So we'll see how that works out for them. And I guess we'll kind of wrap up the tournament going on as we do this today. And You've been watching it, Don. The USF basketball, they didn't do anything. The USF women, though, are in the women's bracket.
Yes, they are.
So that's a local flavor there. But I guess Rick Pitino, kind of surprising, taking St. John's job last year. They did okay, but this year they kind of really had a great year, winning the Big East tournament, and now they won the first game as we talk today.
Yeah, they had a magnificent second year under Pitino. They won the Big East relatively handily in the end.
Yeah.
They beat all the teams that were the competitors. They played very, very well. You can't really tell in the postseason so far. They only played one team, and
they won that by about 30.
We're talking about a 16 and a 1, so you really can't make any judgment from that. But most people expect they're going to get at least to the 8 and maybe to the 4.
Of course, Florida Gator fans are happy, right?
Oh boy,
they're thought to be number 1 overall, even though they're number 1 in their section, but number 1 overall seed.
They are playing so well. I mean, in the tournament, they won their tournament first of all, and they won it handily. The last 3 games they've played have been just spectacular, scoring a lot of points, playing great defense. My personal choice was Florida to win the whole thing.
Yeah, that'd be good for the state of Florida. A lot of Gator fans in our area, Sarasota and Tampa Bay. But that's kind of an overall review of what's been going on in the world of sports. We'll cover that as we go along. Of course, the Wednesday show now on a new platform, Don, right?
Yeah, new platform and
Riverside platform, it's called. So you can check that out there. Wednesdays at 7 live. So Don is on that, and we'll do continue as we go along as well. But good to have a little breakfast this morning. We haven't done that in a while.
Oh, we have it. Well, something to do when you're in Arizona.
I'll be back. We'll do that more frequently as I get back. But,
you just don't like that 115-degree weather out there.
It was a temporary thing and a back and forth thing. So I'm always glad to come back to beautiful Sarasota.
So we'll get back together very soon.
Great. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you again soon.